all Atmas and my namaskaram to my Atma Guru, Atmatineshwar. Today we are going to discuss about the third commandment of my Atma Guru. What he says is, every human being has taken birth to release his karmas. Only when all the karmas are released, he will merge with me, he says. But for releasing karmas, how one can do is only by fulfilling our duties. Duties to whom? Duties to the Atmas with whom we are bonded in our micro family in which we are born, and also to the Atmas in the macro family world in which we are living. Only when both these duties are fulfilled, then one can release the entire karmas. This God Himself has revealed through our Puranas, where God has taken two wives as an example. For instance, Lord Venkateshwara with Alameda and Padmavati, and Muruga with Vali Devyani. Why these two wives have been represented? One wife represents the micro family, another wife represents the macro family. So God depicts to us that we should fulfill our duties. That's why He has depicted, because He has taken the avatar to establish dharma. So one of the dharmas of every human being is to fulfill his duties to his family, micro family and the macro family. So if you fulfill your these duties, you release all the karmas. But people normally they focus only on fulfilling the duties to the micro family and not to the macro family. They ignore their duties to the macro family. And this is the reason why there is a social imbalance in the society. The micro family people, they vary as rich, upper middle class, lower middle class, poor people, and the vagabonds are those people who are the street dwellers like this. One is enjoying the wealth and is accumulating the wealth, whereas the poor is struggling due to starvation. This is happening throughout the world. God has given this palace of world with lot of wealth. And in this palace, when we see from outside, it looks as if the entire people are wealthy. But actually what is there? In some rooms of the palace, people have abundant wealth, whereas the other rooms, people are struggling due to starvation. But this entire world is one family. That's what Vasudeva Kutumbakam. So, every people in this world family are our family members. So, we should have that vision that all the people in this world are family members. So, then it becomes a micro family. See, it is your duty to take care of your elder parents, wife, children, all these things. This is primary duty. Similarly, when you visualize the entire world as your family, then you see that what is the duty to the people. The sense, in the world, the majority of people are still below poverty level. Many places, underdeveloped nations, many of the places in Africa, even in Asia, even in our own country, there are still a lot of people struggling out of starvation. It is our duty to see that how best we can able to fulfill our macro family duties. But the macro family duties one cannot fulfill in a single way as we do in the macro family, because it involves a lot of effort, lot of funds, everything. That's why Mahatma Guru say one can fulfill the duty to macro level family in three forms. One is by fulfilling our individual social responsibilities, or by way of corporate social responsibility and by way of government social responsibility. Then, in fulfilling this duty, what is the base you have to fix is, for a common man, what is basically needed for his peaceful living. One is education, another is employment, and third is health. These three are important. If he has good education and if he has good employment, then naturally he can generate income to take care of his family. And if he is given good health system, then he can live happily. Of course, with the earning, he can buy house, he can buy clothes, he can buy food, everything he can do. But basically, if you see these three things, education, employment, and health. Japan focused on these three after the Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombing in the Second World War. Though the entire country has been demolished, they focused, people and the government focused on these three areas, and that's why they were able to achieve a developed nation within a span of 30 years. Similarly, even in India, though it has crossed 76 years of independence, still we are not achieved the level of a developed nation. Buddhism expects that by 100 years, that is 2047, we have to achieve that level. But thing is, it is not a one-man's job. We have to do consolidated efforts. We want to see the entire world as a developed world, where all the people live happily with the needed self-sustenance to live. In that respect, what people can do is, those rich, elite, educated, well-to-do people, they have to contribute a lot. God has given them not for enriching themselves. For a man to live, what is needed is, you need only 6 feet of place for sleeping, and three times feeding his stomach. This is the basic needs for every common man. Even if you have 1,000 crores, he cannot eat everything. But why God has given him is, through him, he wants to share to others. So it is our duty. Only by sharing that wealth in this three-dimensional physical world. When the Atma leaves this body, it can take the entire world by way of punya. That will annihilate his karmas and take him to the path of moksha. So that's the reason why God has given. Because of one's good karma, they have become rich. And richness, if it is utilized in a spiritual manner, to spread to all the people, then naturally he becomes an immortal person. So like that, every person, irrespective, even if a poor man, he can contribute this to the society by way of his physical help. So like that, every person has to contribute for the under individual social responsibility. What one can do is, since it involves a lot of men, so everybody is having a WhatsApp group like that where 252 members are there. Means, the close friends and relatives, they can accumulate, join together, and they can form a trust. They can pool it money every month, salary, a part of money they can put, and this money they can use it to adopt some children, adopt poor children in an orphanage or poor children in some slum, to give them good education and to give them job-oriented education, so that they shape into valuable citizens. Because individuals can able to contribute only small money where they can use it for the upliftment, in providing basic academic education and self-employment education to some organizations, whereby they can build those people living in slums or orphanage children into a valuable asset to the nation. Similarly, corporates, small or big, because big corporates are very limited. 1,000 crores turnover companies are very limited. Small corporates with 2 crores, 3 crores turnover companies, they cannot able to contribute for a big project. So in each area, whatever business entities are there, whether it is proprietorship, partnership, corporate companies, everything, they can form a group in each area, and they can form a trust. They can pool the money in every month. A small part they can contribute, and they can form a trust. They can use it for providing education. Education in the sense, they can build schools in remote villages. They can build extra classrooms, provide smart classes, provide labs facilities. Like that, in the bigger projects, they can able to contribute. Similarly, for health, sanitation, they can build water provision. They can do water provision for them. Similarly, they can create a website to create employment avenues for the youth. Job-oriented training, training centers, they can start to provide job-oriented training for the youth. So like that, corporates can contribute for the development of providing education, employment, and the health factors. And whereas the government they can focus on greater infrastructure projects like constructing big schools, big colleges, and providing free education. Government should take a stand that they should provide free education from LKG to any education, whether a student is capable of doing doctorate, there is an engineering or doctor, or they don't have IQ levels in this normally they will be provided vocational training, ITA training, technical skills, whereby any person, irrespective of their intellectual capacity, they should shape them in providing a valuable, employable education to them so that they can take an employment and have their livelihood. So the government should focus on providing free education from LKG to the any level. That is the base infrastructure growth they have to focus. Similarly, government should focus on building hospitals at each village, each remote villages, like a small clinic for small villages, and in the district level, a big hospitals like that, so that with the sophisticated latest technology equipment, so that people in that area they get free medical support from the government. If the government provides free medical support to its entire people, their productivity grows. That is very important. Government should focus. Similarly, they should see they create more employment avenues for the people. So, this is at the national level. In international level, what they can do is developed nations like USA, Canada, UK, Japan, Germany, France, all these developed nations, they can adopt villages in underdeveloped nations like African countries, Ethiopia, Nigeria, like that. They can have remote villages where people are struggling with starvation, without want of education, employment. They can adopt them at an individual level, corporate level, government level. At an individual level, people in developed nations, they can pull in funds from their friends and relatives, and they adopt some villages where they can provide these basic things, education, employment. Corporates also, they can adopt some village, some city districts where they can start a big exploit the natural resources there to provide education, employment, and health needs for the people in the underdeveloped nations. Government also should take the steps. Developed nations, they should take steps to tie up with the underdeveloped nations to provide all the infrastructure, roads, bridges, water system, all the basic needs needed for the economic growth of the country. So like that, every person, irrespective of their position, at the individual level, corporate level, government level, they should focus in giving and helping hand to the brothers in our world family, and see that the entire world, all the people in the world, they economically grow. Once they economically grow, naturally they won't tend to go in the wrong path of terrorism or criminalism, all these things. So we should shape them into a valuable asset to the world, whereby we can bring real peace in the world, real economic growth in the world, and there will be real Vishwa Shanti. So let us all resolve to fulfill our duties to the micro level family and the macro level family in the limited extent what is possible from our end, and see that we fulfill our duties in both the micro and macro family, release our karmas, and this will take us to the path of mukti at the spiritual side, and and in the economic side, it builds the entire world economy to grow, and there will be a real growth in the world, and real growth in among all the people, and that brings real peace in the world. So let us aim for it and work for it. Thank you.